All right. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Bonnie. Good to see you. It's funny, Bonnie just sent me a text about her goals a couple minutes ago. She's right on topic of what we're doing today. So, mid-year review, ramp up. So this is a chance that we're going to give you some really great ideas of things that you need to think about as far as what you've accomplished so far this year and what you want to accomplish by the end of this year. So let's get right into it. So this is how much how to get your numbers. So I need to do a new share. Where is the exit? All right, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna get into the exit. Stop share. All right, stop share. We're gonna do. Right, it wasn't popping up on my shareable screen. So give me 2 seconds here. Here we go. All right. Share screen and okay. So in the resource center, you should have. So when you go to, so when you log in, come on home screen. All right, right here, reports tab. So you click on the reports tab. Colleen's giddy because she knows that this is all numbers and she's a nerd with the numbers. So here you can click on any of your reports. So whether you want to just do a listings report, deals report, whatever it is. And I know
you got feedback, Robbie.
What?
You got feedback. Like when your voice is reverberating.
Oh, I wonder why.
You're echoing.
Hold on 1 sec. Is that better?
So far, yeah.
Okay. All right. Nope. Let me shut these doors.
This is an excellent tool to use, though. I really get a lot out of it every time I use it. So I highly recommend it for everybody.
All right. Another second here. Let me see if I can get that. Microphone. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Better? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So now that your reports, you've got the listing report, deals report. You can kind of play around with what this is. So we're going to go with the report card right now. So this is just a good one that you can go back to whatever year, and it will just tell you your overall view of what you did. So it'll give you all your reports. It'll give you can kind of get your you want to know your numbers. Well, I think I'm still echoing.
A little bit. Maybe it's because we all need to be muted.
Yeah, that's part of it. We should all be.
Is that better? All right, let's try this again. Beautiful. Okay, so once I was actually hearing myself, so it was distracting me a little bit also. So now that you're on your reports tab, you can kind of pull up all your numbers. So it's really important to know your numbers, know what you're looking to do. It'll tell you what you are in the 2021, how much you've done, gross closed, listings taking. So it can kind of really give you an overview of everything that's going on in your business. So I encourage you to go on and play with that. If you want, you can go all the way back to the date that you started with Exit to see exactly what you've done. So let's just do, your deals report. So you can, pick it or close deals, and you can go all the way back to, however long you've been here. So it's really important to know your numbers. So get on this one and play around with it and definitely learn this tool. This is also where you can see what your recruits are doing so that you know when you have pending deals and where you're going to be getting paid on. So it's definitely a useful tool for you to definitely get to know. But it's really important to know your numbers so you can kind of know where you are, so you can know where you want to go. All right, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. Hopefully the tech issues are now all worked out. All right. Boom and boom. All right, so knowing your numbers is important. So that's how you do the reports, get into your resource center, run the reports, find out exactly what you did last year, where you are at for the first 6 months. So now you can kind of adjust moving forward. So you want to now conduct a semi-annual audit of your business. So where are you in regards to your annual goals? So the things you want to look at and you want to think about, what prospecting challenges did you overcome this year? So whether it was a technology challenge, so you're trying to get up with the tech and you're trying to get on social media, or, try out some new things in regards to, social media advertising, or just different type of things. That what was the prospecting challenges? Was it cold calling? Did you do enough cold calling? Did you do any cold calling? Door knocking? Did you ask probing questions? Asking for the order. Sometimes a lot of people are fearful of just in the run, in the run of the day, they're fearful of asking for that order. They know they have the prospect, they've talked to them, they know they have an opportunity to move into the next level of the sale, but they're afraid to ask. You gotta, what challenges did you overcome this year? What did you look at? What actions helped you achieve your current results? So if you're at where your desired results are, how did you get there? What helped? And then also determine why it helped you, and can I enhance it to make it help you even more? So a lot of times we get into the kind of just the motions of something's working, so we're just going to keep doing it the same way and keep going. Is there a way you can improve that to get more results out of it? Or have you maximized your results out of that particular entity? So for instance, what I would put this in a networking group. So if you're in a networking group and every person in that networking group is giving you consistent referrals, there's not much more you can do in that group to be able to get more referrals. They're already thinking of you every single time something comes up in real estate, and they're using you as their realtor. So, or they're handing your business card out or your name out. So there's not too much more you can do to maximize your efforts. But if you're only getting 2 or 3 people out of a group of 20, is there something you're doing with those other 18 or not doing with those other 18? Why to not have them be sending you someone? So that would be an example of what I'm talking about there. Can you expand? That group is working. You're getting 2 or 3 people that are referring you consistently, and there's 20 people in the group. How can you get more people to refer you? So that's something to look at with your what has worked well for you, what's kind of going right. And then you also want to ask yourself what's hindered you. So what have you not done, or what have you been afraid to do, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the slide, that has hindered you from reaching your goal? So if you're not at where you want, you're not at your desired goal, you got to start asking yourself why. Is it you? Is it, whatever? We're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. I don't want to spoil, a spoiler alert or anything. So I'll hold off to, that answers that question for a little bit. But these are kind of the things that you want to start asking yourself. Do an audit on all these processes in your own business to kind of determine where you stand and, how you can improve. After you do that, you want to revise it. So the first 6 months have gone X, Y, Z. You've determined the things that have gone great. You've determined the things that you need to improve. Now it's time to kind of get a little bit cleaner. So clean up your database or your CRM. So whatever you're using to collect your data, you want to make sure it's cleaned up. Are the people that you want to target in a group? So if you are in a certain neighborhood, have you added people? Have you subtracted people? Have you updated the new people that have moved in, or the new people, or the old people that have moved out? What are you doing if you're doing that kind of prospecting? Also your sphere of influence. Have you updated that? Who's come into your life that could be a positive influence? Have you put them on a drip campaign, or your follow-up lists, or your dirty dozen list, whatever? Start thinking about all those people that have come into your life and also that have left your life, or people that you don't want to interact with anymore. Have you removed them from your CRM? Have you added those new people that could be a help to your business to your CRM? or your follow-up process. If you're ahead in your goals, what you might want to think about doing is increasing your goals, or doing something of the, okay, well, these next 6 months, I should do this, which means basically it's the goal you have to hit. There's no reason, it's kind of a low ball goal. If you don't hit it, then you should quit the business type deal. The have to goal, which means I have to hit this goal. It's a little bit more than what I should, but there's no reason, and that should be basically at least what you've done in the first 6 months. The have to goal should definitely be the accomplishment of the second 6 months, and then your reach goal. So this is where you challenge yourself. What do you think you can do? So if you're at the point right now where, first 6 months I did X, Y, Z, and, I really want to try to do more, what can you do? And then actually add a little bit more to it. So that way, when you get to your goal, that you're not stopping and you're putting your foot on the brake. You're actually going to accelerate through and say, okay, well, now I have a chance to do my reach goal. So that's kind of one thing that you can do to kind of challenge yourself if that's your type of personality. If you're a competitive person, especially with yourself, like Colleen, those are some goals that you can really are going to help you, because she's not going to stop at her have to goal anyway. She's going to do a reach goal, and then she's going to do a superhuman goal. So, those are some things that, you can really do to continue to challenge yourself. That's going to keep you hungry and keep you wanting to get to the next level. If you're not halfway to your goals by now, there's a couple of options that you can do. One, you can develop a new action plan to make up the difference. So if you said you wanted to be at $50,000 or $100,000 at the end of this year, and you're not at 50 yet for your gross commission income, well, now you've got to adjust, because either if your goal is to make 100,000 and you're only at 40, well, now you have to do an extra 10. So what action items are you going to do to increase to make up for that lost 10,000 that you didn't do in your first 6 months? So you got to do the 50 plus 10. How are you going to do it? Develop an action plan. Or if that's not something that you feel is achievable at this point, then you can throw away the old plan. You can put a new plan in place. And one thing you can do is set micro goals to make sure that you're hitting it in this next 6 months. So say you're way off of what your goal is. Say you've only done 20,000 in your first 6 months and you have a goal of 100. I mean, that's a really good goal to get to that extra 80,000 in your next 6 months. But if you don't think it's achievable for whatever reason, because maybe you've slowed down in the summer and you just need to revamp what you're doing, it's just not working, and you got to kind of throw out the plan and start over. Well, now you can set micro goals. So set your 30-day plan. Okay, what am I going to do in this next month that's going to get me to my 182-day goal? And then set the 30, 60, 90, and then make sure you're hitting those goals. And that will help you revamp and get back on track to get to your goal, to make sure you're hitting your next 6 months. So that's something those are two options you can do if you're not halfway to your goal. So as I said, if your goal is 100,000, if you're not at 50,000 by now, you need to do one of these action items. I'm always gonna push you to develop the new action plan to get the difference made up. Because I think everyone can do it. It just takes a little extra effort if you haven't hit your 6 months goal. So determine where you are in your numbers, make sure you know where that is, and then pick one of these kind of goals to get through your next 6 months. All right, the next is you want to reflect. So let's reflect on what we've done, okay? Dive deep into your why. What's your motivation? Why are you doing this? Is it because you've got kids? Is it because you just have a inner need to just, be the best? Whatever it ends up being, what's your why? Figure it out, really take some time to think about it and really do a deep dive into why. Why are you doing this? Why are you in this business? What's going to motivate you to get to your goals and get to that next level? It could just be as simple as, I want to play 10 extra rounds of golf and I don't want to have to pay for it. So that, I'm going to take out, 4 clients, or whatever, industry partners, and I'm going to make them pay for my rounds of golf. maybe that's your why, because you want to develop those relationships for them to send you, business or whatever. So, whatever it is, get a deep reason why that's going to continuously motivate you to get to your goals and hit those next levels. You want to personalize it. So personalize your plan, make sure it's in writing. And, going into that why, you want to set your meaningful goals. So the should do goals, like I should, sell 50,000 because that's the debt I want to pay off. That's a stepping stone to your goals. That's not your actual why. The why is, which we've delved into in training, the why could be, well, I want to pay off that $60,000 in debt because I want to buy an investment property, and I can't buy that investment property if I have that debt sitting out there. And then even deeper why do you want to buy that investment property? And so you can see how this kind of spirals until you get to that base of the real reason why. That's going to be the driving force for you to keep yourself accountable and for you to get yourself to your goals. You also want to be the consummate professional. So really what that is you want to make sure that you're always holding yourself to the highest standard in your industry. So, what are your clients like? Has your motivations changed? Why are you doing this? And who do you want to work for? What do you want to represent, so that you can develop your own personal, professional manner to go ahead and act in accordance to that. So, are you challenging yourself is another question you want to ask. And this is all personal questions. Are you challenging yourself enough? Are you working with who you want to work with? Are the client base that you're working with going to help you achieve their goals? So if your goal, for instance, is, hey, I'm doing this part-time, I want to hit $100,000 in GCI, but my primary clientele right now is $100,000 homeowners and home buyers. Well, that's fine, but you're now going to have to work 3 times as hard selling them homes, because you're going to still have that goal. When as maybe if you figure out a way to shift to the $300,000 clientele and try to figure out how to find them, well, now you can achieve your goal with half the amount of sales because you're now selling a higher price point. So those are some things. Are you challenging yourself in not just only your business, but how you're going about your business, what you're selling to, or who you're selling to, what price point you're looking at, and are those in line with what your goal is? So this is all a reflection. Make sure you're diving deep into all those items of your business plan and really constantly thinking of, the who, what, where, why, and how. All right. So determining the action items. So are you improving yourself? What are you doing to improve yourself? What knowledge are you providing yourself? What trainings are you taking to get to a different level of the industry? Are you looking at Buffini? Are you taking a sales program? Are you just looking at YouTube on your spare time? Are you looking at all the information that Exit has to offer? Are you attending trainings? What are you doing to improve yourself, either with knowledge or even your faults? So, I'm stubborn. I need to work on my stubbornness. So, if Colleen tells me something and I'm going to get all high and I'm not doing that, I need to work on that so she can stop kicking me around. So those are things that, look at yourself. What is it that's hindering you from getting to those next levels of your self growth, which is also going to help you get to your business growth. So, look at that stuff. How are you going to improve yourself? What do you need to work on, both on your personality and also your knowledge, to help you get to those levels? Prioritize your daily tasks. This is probably one of the most important things besides improving yourself that you're going to want to do, because it's going to keep you on track. Don't let the urgent matters get in the way of the important matters. So the important matters are your daily steps that you're taking to make sure your goals are met. So those are prospecting goals. Those are your educational goals. Those are your self-improvement goals. The urgent matters are, a client calls me and says, the appraiser's not coming back, and I need we need to get this done like now, today, like whatever. Well, if you're setting yourself from 9 to 11 to do cold calling and working on your business and getting your next deal, that appraiser, you're not going to get in touch with that appraiser probably until the afternoon anyway. So don't stop what you're doing just to answer that urgent matter, because that urgent matter is not that urgent. It's urgent to that person at that time, but you can say, okay, yes, I will get into that today. Or you can let it go to voicemail. I know we have a lot of hard times sometimes letting things go to voicemail, but you want to make sure that your important matters, things that you've already set for yourself that you're keeping yourself accountable for, are done as a priority to anything that just kind of gets thrown at you on a daily basis. So make sure that you're prioritizing your daily tasks and making sure you're getting the important matters done first and the urgent matters done second. Now, obviously, there's emergencies that come up, but you got to make sure that you understand the difference between an emergency and a non-emergency. And I can tell you, very, very rarely is there an emergency that has to be done right this second in real estate. We let our emotions get in the way of it, and that's when it becomes an emergency in our minds and our clients' minds. So just set that expectation with your client, like, yep, I'll take care of this. Don't worry about it. I've got it. And then make sure you do it, later after you've got your important things out of the way. Write down. So make sure that everything's written down. That's how you really can get your accomplishments done, by making sure it's in writing and making sure that it's always consistent. All right. So now action item. So everyone, if you can, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. So I need you to write down 10 action items you did that bettered your business in the last 6 months. So specific things that you did that really helped excel your business. Just look up if you're done. Latarius. Latarius is trying to cheat on me. Turn his camera off. All right. So now I want you to write down 10 actions that you feel could help your business grow in the next 6 months that you either want to try, thought of, but just haven't done yet. Bonnie's already done this.
I just don't have 10.
That's fine. Again, just look up once you're done. Okay. And the last part is write down 3 things that you've been afraid of doing or did not do in the past 6 months. So what things have you kind of wanted to do, but you've been afraid of it? So now this is for your eyes only. I'm not going to make anyone read it unless anyone wants to volunteer to read, especially number 3. So Kim, what you just missed was write 3 things that you've been afraid of doing or did not do in the past 6 months. And then I don't know if you write down 10 action items you could feel help your business grow in the next 6 months. So I'm not gonna make anyone read it unless you want to, if you want to discuss it. Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to the next slide to tell you a little bit more about what we just did there. Okay, so this next slide is determine the why, especially that third item there. Why were you afraid of it? Were you afraid of it because of rejection? Were you afraid of it because it was going to kill you, looking stupid? What was it? And yes, I know stupid is spelled wrong, so that was the point. But yeah, so what about what you just wrote down in those last 3 are you afraid of? So if it's not that number 2 bullet point there, it's something you should definitely try. So really a lot about this business is getting over your fears, because 9 times out of 10, it's something you should be doing because you know it's going to help grow your business astronomically, but whatever reason you're afraid of the outcome. And it could be rejection. So let's just put cold calling. Yep, Kim. You're muted. I didn't mute you.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but I just tried to do something the other day on Facebook, a little silly little introduction sort of video.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly like to see myself on video, but I know when I've done walkthrough videos in the past for clients' listings and stuff like that, it seems like people seem to look at it more when there's an actual person speaking. I don't know if because they're looking at them and going, oh my God, she shouldn't be on camera, or what it is, but I thought I would try that just to see if it brought any responses back. And I just a second got a phone call from another agent saying, she goes, oh, that's one of the things I'm the most afraid of doing. She said, but I'm hoping you can help me find a property for one of my buyers. And this is an agent I've worked with on another place from Atlantic Shores elsewhere.
Yeah.
But the point is that sometimes we have to go outside of our comfort zone, and that wasn't something that was necessarily in my comfort zone, but I've gotten several responses back from it.
Mhm.
And if nothing else, it's getting the name out there, it's getting more exposure, even though I don't have anything particularly that I'm putting it out there for as a listing. So anyone could do that sort of thing. You don't have to have a property to do a walkthrough. I noticed Timmy's starting to do a lot more of them on her properties, and it really does help. But it would be a fear in a lot of our cases.
For sure.
The more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, and that's
hopefully it'll
absolutely
bring
true.
something.
Yeah, we hear that all the time with videos. That's one of the things people are most afraid of doing, but it's one of the things that gets you the best return. It helps you with branding. It helps you with a whole bunch of things. Videos are definitely a really good example of that. And it's not going to kill you. So that's something you should definitely try doing. And the good thing about videos too is people want to see the real you. So the more you mess up, even if you go live, the actual better it is for you, which is kind of crazy to think about. But a lot of people are also afraid. So cold calling, for instance, you're not really afraid of actually cold calling. You're afraid of getting rejected several hundred times before you get that yes. So that's one of the reasons people don't do rejection, because they don't cold call because they don't want to get rejected. And a quick mindset trick to something like that is, I'm never going to see, hear, or talk to these people again. And even if I do, they're not going to recognize me. I'm not going to recognize them. I'll never know that I made a cold call and they were, a jerk to me on the phone. So that's something that, has gotten me through it, but it's just changing your little mindsets. And I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of this because I know we're 1 minute over. But develop the action plan on how you're planning on facing that fear so it doesn't hinder you in the future. Pick it up, do it, kind of get over that fear and, make sure you just get that done. So in summary, and then we have one more little thing to show you and then that will be that. But having a plan is as important as drinking water. It is the life of your business. And if you let the water dry up, your business will die. So you want to make sure that you are having a plan. You want to make sure you're sticking to the plan, and then you're adjusting it as needed. You got to look at your why often, put a picture up of it somewhere that, you're going to see it every day, maybe on your computer monitor or whatever. And as I already said, if it's not going to kill you, it will make you stronger in this profession. And then we talked about be consummate professional, hold yourself to a high standard, keep yourself accountable. If you fail to reach your goals, it is no one's fault but your own. It doesn't matter your situation. It doesn't matter anything. I mean, you can look up, videos and stuff of people overcoming crazy amounts of, issues and things that, most people would just kind of like lay down and just be like, I give up. And they've overcome it. And, when you see people, that it's just incredible what people can do. So putting yourself in the mindset of holding yourself accountable and, knowing that it's all on you, that would be first steps. So those are kind of the summaries of this, what you want to do when you're now looking at your business plan for the next 6 months. And then real quick, we're going to, I'm going to send this out since we've kind of run out of time so you can review it. But this is just a really cool article. Really cool article that is gives you a good overview of what we just talked about. Colleen, do you have anything you want to say real quick on this article?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a mid-year kind of revision, ramp up your business. I know a lot of people just kind of go through the motions, or they're in the momentum, and then they kind of just complacency, and this is really a kind of period of time just to stop. Like, everyone starts the year like really ramped up, so this is kind of just like a mid-year solution. What can I be doing to better my processes? What can I be doing to be getting more businesses? This, if I'm just spending hours doing this and I'm only getting a little return. These are just some ideas. And if you are just a competitive person, or you just like to keep track of what you're doing, I like the check it off list, because you get points for everything that you do. So it kind of, you want to get your goal is to get 100 points, or whatever, 30 by the end of the day. You can keep score, and then it gives you ideas. So if you're just kind of like, well, what else could I do? This is just a good kind of refresher and see a reminder of stuff. And lastly, the third part of it's all about reviewing your business plan. And if you really want to hit those goals, how can you do it? And sit down with Rob and schedule time to do that. And then he'll suggest some really good activities that you could do to implement that into your daily regimen. But yeah, so that is that. It's a really, I actually stole it from the Florida Realtors magazine and curtailed it to our own. And so it's definitely, I definitely advise looking at it.
Yeah, we'll send that out. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Bonnie. And if you have to go, we totally understand. So go ahead and sign off, but otherwise stick around and we're good.
The federal government can wait.
I wasn't talking about you, I was just talking about everyone else.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
was talking about everyone else.
my job. On the subject of cold calling, I am absolutely not afraid of being rejected. I just don't see the purpose of it. Now, I know Colleen is really good at it. She got me by, calling, but I don't see where that time is useful. Can someone give me something different to think about?
Yeah, so Colleen and JT, I'm sure will jump in and tell you more about what they do, because that's pretty much what they do all day, every day.
Because, not to interrupt you, because as you know, I can't do anything during the day except for Mondays, and I have Saturdays and Sundays. So it's a little difficult to kind of work that in. And I always say, well, it's not going to work. So
yeah, so cold calling does work.
Okay.
On the sales run of it, it's very much a law of large numbers. So the thought process is, the more people you call, the more opportunities you're going to get, and the more opportunities you get, the more it's going to lead into sales. Now, I'm never going to tell you that I think unless you're a certain personality, that I think a great solo business plan is cold calling. It definitely needs to be a part of your prospecting pie. It's something that everyone should be doing for a bunch of different reasons. not only for the reason of hopefully getting sales and getting opportunities to get in front of people, but you're learning different personality types. You're learning objection handling in a pretty much who cares state, because someone rejects you. I mean, Colleen's personal goal was to overcome like as many objections before someone told her to pretty much F off. And I think her goal, what was the rate was like 14. You
It
overcame
was like
14
5
objections.
minutes. It was exhausting.
So, I mean, so like you have fun with it and you just go with it, but it teaches, there's a lot of other lessons that you learn from cold calling other than just actually getting sales. So, you know, if you're dealing with real life situations, so then when you're with someone that maybe it was a referral and a similar objection comes up, you know how to handle it. And you kind of just get that practice. So that's one thing that's really good about cold calling. If you are able to do it on a consistent basis, and say you're calling like 500 people a week, I mean, on the average, that's gonna equal out to probably about 2 sales. I'm just, you know, those are the numbers. So, I mean, it's just, you know, for the sales aspect of it, it's a law of large numbers, you know, and I can get you the breakdown, but Colleen and JT, feel free to jump in of your processes of what you guys do. And
I'll just say, like, when you have a listing, you can literally get a list of all the people in the neighborhood and really maximize listing. Just say, hey, I just want to reach out, let you know that there is a house currently listed in the market. And I don't know if you know anyone who's like interested in moving, but you ultimately could choose who your neighbors are. So if you want, like, this house this is the address, I'd love to be able to entertain this and talk further. But I just want to introduce myself because you're going to be seeing me around the neighborhood, and I hope to run into you or whatnot. So just maximize the listing.
That's a good idea.
There's
They're
also
really receptive to it. Yeah.
And there's also like cold calling for sale by owners, expired, but then there's also something called circle prospecting, which basically takes that same concept. Is, you know, you just had a sale or you have a listing in that neighborhood. You're calling everyone in the neighborhood and saying, hey, we're really low on inventory. I'm not sure if you know, but the market's really hot. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy and sell? As I have buyers in this neighborhood that's looking to buy. And it's something that, you know, it's often, because if they are the ones that are actually in fact looking to buy or sell, they're gonna start talking to you about it. But 9 times out of 10, if they've talked to a neighbor that's looking to sell, they're gonna be saying, oh yeah, Joe at like 1342, he's looking to sell. We were just talking about the other day, he's thinking about it, and now you have a referral. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to cold call, and it can be very, very effective. And there are people who have a very good career basically just cold calling. One of the top agents in Vero Beach, I'm sure you've seen his signs all over the place. That's pretty much all he does. He just cold calls and, you know, just goes through the list, and, you know, that's just how he gets his listings. So, and as I said, I think he's number 3 or 4 in Indian River County right now. So that's, you know, that's definitely a method you can use. I'm always a big fan of it needing to be part of your prospecting pie, not your sole job, because I think it's very transactional. And our business should definitely be very both transactional to get it in, and then to retain it, you know, having that relationship build sale.
Kind of, I like it because you have a lot more power persuading people. You have such a little power persuading through text or email. I mean, that's completely up the window. But if you just need to finish like a sale with someone, an agent, you're like, hey, that was a fantastic job we did together. Like, I really enjoyed working with you. How do you like working at your current brokerage? No, I mean, like, you could just, the best thing about cold calling is you could just say anything and just run with it. And once you become shameless, you really do open up so many opportunities. It's invigorating. If I don't call one day, I just feel like an empty soul. Like, I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. I feel empty. like this. It's embarrassing, but I mean, it really is. It's you just expand so much, and you have way more power over your sales and over your career if you can do that. And it's a small pool.
Thank you.
Sure.
So does that answer your question in the shortest way possible?
It does. I have to think about how I will incorporate that, and, you know, maybe make 5 phone calls. I can't sit and do that like that, but I should try and, you know.
Most people can't.
Yeah.
10.
That's
Come on.
someone calling pretty much, 9 to 5 every day. But any other questions, any other comments, anything you guys want to talk a little bit more about on business planning, goal setting, or anything of those matters?
It just occurred to me, maybe I should pay somebody to do it for me.
That could work.
Good. There are services out there that will do that.
Oh, is that right?
hmm Yep.
Okay.
I think it's like anything, it's good to have a balance and, even if you just do a few a day or a few a week, it's gonna see what kind of reaction response you get.
Mhm.
Anything you try that's obviously legal and ethical is going to be, something that could benefit your business because you're taking steps. You're not just sitting there waiting for it to come to you.
Mhm.
And that's really the key to this business. I mean, like, I know Rob had asked me to put aside some of like what my goals for this year were. And one of them was that I wanted to cap in 6 months, and I did. So
Mhm.
if I can do it, anybody can do it because I'm no spring chicken anymore. And it's just a matter of perseverance and being persistent and letting your genuine personality show, whether it's cold calling, whether it's networking with other people, whether it's your sphere of influence, all of those things work. So
Yeah, and just on that note, Kim did just cap last week, so she's enjoying that higher split for the rest of the year. So, and congratulations to you. So I mean that's just setting the goals and hitting them and getting to that level is what this is all about. So if you guys need anything else or you want to like sit down and have a personalized conversation about your goals and where you want it to go and where you want it to head, let me know. Happy to schedule those. That's what I'm here for. So, and if it's just an idea session of how to get you to wherever you want to be, that's fine too. We don't have to sit down and actually fill out all the business goals if you don't want to. If you just want to kind of talk about it, we can do it. Do you have a question, Bonnie, or are you telling me to stop?
I just have one more comment related. We've got a lot of new people and I thought maybe it might be a good idea. And if you'd like me to set it up, I will. Maybe we have a little happy hour at the club. Just to, no big spread or anything, just have people come buy themselves a drink and maybe me, because I don't know a lot of people.
Yeah, we're
And
thinking of doing that. So that'd
as
be
you
great.
know, that's my favorite thing to do.
Let's do it.
That's a
All
great
right.
idea.
Maybe because as a member, you can get that back room for nothing.
Yes,
We
I
can
can.
we can do it. So yeah, that'd be great. Let's talk about that for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
everyone. Have a great day. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
You,
Yes.
awesome.
thank you. Bye, guys.